that intro. Yes.
Good evening, friends. It's great to see you on this fantastic Friday, April 17th, for day 17 of our Hope from the Stevens Home. Looking forward to an awesome rest of the month as we finish up our 30 days of hope. But today I'm super excited to talk to you about some creativity. Now, I am firmly convinced as a follower of Jesus and as a believer in God that one of the ways that we were designed in God's image, if you read the Bible in the Old Testament and the Hebrew Torah, in the book of Genesis, it says that we were made in the image of God. God spoke and said, "Let us make man in our image." And taking that away, I'm firmly convinced that one of the ways that we are created in the image of God is He designed us to be creative. He designed us to create. And I love that. He is the ultimate example of that. In the book of Genesis, as he begins to speak the very world and everything in it into existence, he is creative and demonstrates his creativity. I think that some of the things that we see in God's creation are aspects and demonstrate his creativeness, his creativity, as well as his humor. I mean, come on now. Take a look at the platypus. I mean, you put a beaver with a duck, and you put it together, you get a platypus. I mean, that's hilarious right there. I think that's such an amazing animal and demonstration of creativity. We take these mashups. God was the first one to do mashups. For those of you who know what a mashup is, and he took these two things together and put them together. So I love God's creativity, and I love the fact that God created you and I to be creative. That's what he designed us for. One of the things that we can do. Now, you may be wondering, how am I creative? How can I demonstrate that creativity? Well, I think we all have it in various ways, in various forms. Some of us are musical. Some can sing, play an instrument, maybe play multiple instruments, and you can create with music. You can create with sound. What an amazing way to do that. Another way you can demonstrate creativity is with art. Well, some of you can draw and some of you can paint, and you can demonstrate your creativity in art expressions, whether that's two-dimensional art with drawing and painting, or three-dimensional art with sculpture and woodworking, and these various ways that we can create in a three-dimensional way. Some of you create by using technological means. Some of you create websites and you create content. Some of you write and create beautiful words and content. To me, there's nothing that demonstrates creativity more than walking into a library or a bookstore, because I love thinking about the words that people are putting to the page. The pictures and the images that people are putting into those works, whether by art and photography or whether just by using the imagination. I love bookstores. I love books. I love the creativity that is in those places. And I believe that those places demonstrate and show that our God-given creative gifts in a very unique way. But my question for you tonight is, how are you creating? We just heard word today that Governor Holcomb in the state of Indiana has issued or extended the stay-at-home order to keep going for another 14 days or so until May 1st. Now, we don't know what's going to happen beyond that, but Governor Holcomb has issued that order, and I know that in my family it's causing some anxiety and stir craziness, because we're wondering, what do we do? We love seeing people. We love talking to people. We love meeting up with people. We love those things that we didn't really realize were so essential, these non-essential things, like going to a non-essential store, just going shopping for the fun of it, I went to Walmart today because I had to pick up a few groceries, and I felt like I had to push through and get what I needed as quickly as possible. When I'm the type of shopper that when I'm there, I just like to meander the aisles. So, with that news from Governor Holcomb that we're extended into this, we began to fret and worry a little bit about how are we going to manage through this these additional days, and what are we going to do? And my thought and my challenge is, let's express our God-given creativity. How can we take our creative talents and exercise them? Some of you love doing puzzles. I know we're going to go pick up a puzzle that we had ordered tomorrow, and we're going to, there's several of us in the family that love putting together puzzles. Puzzles are take advantage of that organization and the administrative gifts, as well as a creative and artistic expression. Some of my kids have been learning how to draw from YouTube and putting that to paper and watching these art teachers teach them how to draw, and they enjoy doing that. Some of my kids have been learning instruments. My second son has been learning songs on his ukulele that he got for Christmas, has been playing them for us. There are all kinds of ways that we can express our creativity, and so for tonight, I'm going to challenge you, find your way to express creativity. Here's one way that I'm going to challenge you. Do you remember in maybe grade school, maybe it was Sunday school at church, but do you remember as a kid that on special holidays, we would make some of these crafty things that we would give to our parents? We would make these Mother's Day gifts and Father's Day gifts. One of my personal favorites was the hand turkey for Thanksgiving. Do you remember that? You'd dip your hand in paint and you smash it on a page, and then you'd color in the fingers, and this was the head of the turkey and the feathers of the turkey, and you'd make that and you'd give it to somebody as a gift. Those are some very interesting creative times. Well, I would love to see us rediscover those gifts. Many times as we get older, we think that our gifts have to be a Michelangelo or a Picasso, someone famous and noteworthy. But instead, I challenge us to retake and recreate those creative gifts. Maybe it's the thumbprints that we say hi, the thumbprint family. Maybe it's it's just the card, the construction paper folded in half, where we take that construction paper and we just write in the gaudiest letters that we know how to write, thank you. My challenge for us tonight is to find a creative way to express the creativity that we have, but at the same time show thanks to those who need it the most. Maybe send a card to your healthcare workers or the friends that you know working in the healthcare field. Maybe send a card or leave a card in your mailbox for your mail delivery person who is continuing to work in all of this. Maybe you've been ordering quite a bit from Amazon or other online retailers, and so UPS and FedEx has been showing up at your house. Maybe you leave a card for them saying, thank you for delivering to me what I need. I don't know who you need to thank, but there are many people that you can thank. You could drop a note in the mail and send it to those school teachers or those others who are continuing to serve in this crisis and in this moment. And they would just love to hear and see you reach out to them. So, it might not be the best looking Michelangelo type painting or Da Vinci type portrait, but it'll be a note of thanks and an expression of our creativity. There's some great resources that you can use and you can find on YouTube that teach you how to draw. And trust me, the ones my kids have been watching have the instructor on one side and a student drawing on the other side. And my pictures would be more like the students. The instructors looks all proper and formal, and the students is shaky and has some interesting design elements to it. But it doesn't matter what it looks like. It's an expression of our creativity. Maybe you remember, and maybe you're feeling this way. Anybody remember the movie Groundhog Day? with Bill Murray. He gets stuck in time on Groundhog Day, and he keeps waking up at the same time, and he has to fulfill what his destiny is meant for him to be, to break this time loop. But one of the interesting parts about that, and one of the parts I remember most, I haven't seen the movie in many years, but one of the parts I remember most is that every day he goes to a piano teacher, and he says, "Ma'am, this is my first day." It's always his first day. "This is my first day learning piano." And he sits down, and the first day of the Groundhog Day that he goes to practice, he's pecking at the piano keys, and he doesn't know. But the final day of his time on the Groundhog Day in that time loop, he's doing a piano concerto, and this is my first day, and the piano instructor thinks that he's just a genius. So, what way can you express your creativity? My mother-in-law is online right now, and hello, Julie, and Linda, and Jay, and Carissa. And one thing she said, my creativity is making chocolate chip cookies. Your creativity might be baking. It might be cooking. And maybe you can leave a package of cookies or a thank you, a delicious treat for someone. Maybe you can take it to them, take someone a meal who needs to have a meal. There are all kinds of ways to be creative in this time. And my challenge for you is, instead of focusing inward on, oh my goodness, we have to keep inside the stay-at-home order for more time. We have to wait till May. Instead of looking inward and worrying about that, my encouragement for you tonight is to find a creative way to give thanks, to show gratitude. Express your creativity. Step out of your comfort zone. Find a picture to draw. Maybe you can make your own handmade cards, and they don't have to be die cut and all of the formal cutting. Just fold a card in half and write a quick note in it. Maybe draw a picture on it. Use stickers. Maybe you have some stickers. Send it to someone. A note of encouragement, a note of thanks, a note of gratitude. These are some ways that we can bring hope. These are some ways that we can be hope. So, I love the creative aspects of God and how He's given them to each of us. And I believe that each of us has a creative aspect. From baking to drawing, from painting to construction, from all the artistic elements to music. In whatever way, whether it's writing poems or just a sweet short note of thanks, you have a creative gift, and you have a way to express that creation and that creativity. So I encourage you, find a way to express it and to give hope. Thank you for joining us tonight. As always, like us and subscribe, and we're working on ways to continue to bring new elements and themes here. So if you have any ideas, shoot me a note. Send us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. And we'd love to hear from you and continue seeing you on for the rest of 30 Days of Hope. Ending day 17. Have a blessed night. We love you.